Hi, it's Mike Chen. We've all done it. You know, break the law. It's not like we're budding terrorists or aspiring criminals. It's just so hard not to beat that red light when you're really in a hurry, right? But you would be surprised to know that there are actual laws that we have been constantly breaking, a bit unintentionally, for most of our lives. You might think that most of these are too trivial to be real, but when you're already facing jail time and a huge amount of fine, you might start singing a different tune. So sit back, relax, and marvel at the many laws you break probably on a daily basis. We'll start this video off with number 5, writing disturbing material. In this day and age of Facebook, Instagram, Yelp, and all the other social media sites that allows you to post lengthy stories for public consumption, censorship has become tougher and you are basically your own editor. But to anyone writing a conspiracy theory about aliens in the US government, or a biochemical weapon hidden in the heart of the United States, or vampires living among us, because in some states, regulations against disorderly conduct range from pulling the fire alarm, prank calls to 911, and writing disturbing material. If your material gets too believable and too disturbing, it may cost you 30 days of jail time and a fine up to $1,500. It doesn't matter too if you plan to release it or not. If someone accidentally reads it and thought that they should report you to the authorities, then you're gonna be in trouble. For example, in 2007, a straight-A Chicago high school student was charged for disorderly conduct after writing a creative essay that the teacher found too troubling. For the supposedly free writing exercise, the teacher reportedly asked the class to write whatever comes to their minds, non-stop for a certain period of time. One instruction even indicated that if your free writing is neat and coherent, you probably haven't loosened up enough. So then the 18-year-old student, Alan Lee, decided to be as loose as he can and wrote the word stab 4 times and promptly landed himself in prison. On to number 4, connecting to public Wi-Fi. The United States Federal Computer Fraud and Abuse Act strictly prohibits the use of another person's Wi-Fi connection without their consent, also called piggybacking or mooching. According to this 1986 law, access to computer systems, including wireless routers without permission, is considered a felony. Basically, piggybacking happens when we use our neighbor's open Wi-Fi, or when we stand near a Wi-Fi hotspot cafe to check something on the internet, even for just a little while. It could be unintentional as well, like if you're walking around with your iPhone, there's a good chance that our gadgets would automatically connect to an unsecure network without being prompted to. So remember, just because a Wi-Fi network is unprotected doesn't mean it is safe to use. Violation of this law could land you at least 2 years in prison and up to $10,000 in fines. One particular case was that of a man in Michigan whose regular parking outside a cafe with an open laptop attracted the attention of a police officer. When he was caught using the cafe's Wi-Fi, he was charged for accessing a computer network without authorization and was fined $400. And it might also be illegal for you to share your Wi-Fi network with other people. But that just depends on your service provider, because most companies strictly prohibit the shared use of Wi-Fi for non-paying users. Your provider has the capacity to identify an ordinarily unusual high Wi-Fi usage, and if they discover it's because you're sharing your connection with unsubscribed users, then you could actually get in a lot of trouble. And speaking of internet, let's move on to number 3 on our list, using fake names on the internet. Did you know that using fake names to register anywhere on the internet is considered hacking? That's according to the same US Federal Computer Fraud and Abuse Act mentioned earlier. The law says using a fake name is similar to accessing a network without authorization from the owner. And before you start saying, well, this doesn't make any sense, everybody does it, violation of this law could mean 5 to 20 years in prison. And you must be thinking, but what about all the times we just want to feel safe on the World Wide Web, when we just want to view a blog's full content without having to share who we are? It's not like we're off to rob anyone whenever we use the name John Doe, right? But I'm telling you now, that won't be a good argument in court. They would probably let you go with a misdemeanor too if you insist you didn't know such a law exists. But now that you've seen this video, yeah, you might want to rethink that strategy. So I'm sorry if watching one of my videos landed you in prison. So as much as you hate using your real name to register on a sketchy website or Yahoo, remember this law and its consequences the next time you go online. Number 2, illegal possession of a permanent marker. Yes, that's right. Possession of a permanent marker is strictly prohibited in most parts of the United States. Anti-graffiti laws state it is illegal to possess broad-tipped markers and aerosol cans, as they can be used for vandalism. In California, it's even illegal for someone under the age of 18 to buy a permanent marker. An example of this law putting into use was back in 2010 when a 13-year-old boy was brought into custody for using a permanent marker in a school in Oklahoma. His teacher reported him to the police after his writing on a piece of paper bled onto his desk. The boy was subsequently brought to a juvenile detention facility. So parents, next time you're buying your kids school supply, make sure to leave permanent marker out of it. Finally, number 1, singing happy birthday to you in public. Yep, that's right. Singing the most recognized song in the English language in public is illegal. This song also cannot be used on TV, movies, and other public performances without paying a hefty sum, because the song is actually not part of public domain. Somebody actually owns it. Even restaurants have come to devise strategies and able to play happy birthday in their establishments, like singing only the first and last parts of the song, or changing the entire lyrics altogether. And you might be wondering, why is this the case? Well, in 1988, Warner Chappell Music bought the company owning the copyright to Happy Birthday for $25 million, with the song itself valued at $5 million. So based on US law, Warner Chappell Music will own the song until 2030. Also, a little history. Happy Birthday to You, complete with melody and lyrics, first appeared on print in 1912. The song's melody was based on Good Morning to You All, which was widely attributed to American sisters Patty and Mildred J. Hill in 1893. Patty, then a kindergarten principal, wanted to teach her students a song that was easy to learn and asked her sister Mildred, a pianist and composer, for help. Years later, the song evolved to Happy Birthday to You, which retained the original catchy tone and similarly easy lyrics. And in 1935, the first copyright for the song was registered by the Summey Company, crediting Preston Ware Oram and Mrs. R.R. Foreman as authors. Professor Robert Brunas of George Washington University argues that there is no way to identify with complete accuracy who really composed the song, and insists, along with hundreds of others, that the song should be in public domain. He adds that singing the song in public could cost you somewhere between $5,000 to $30,000, and that Warner Chappell has already earned a total of over $50 million from the song's rights since 1988. However, this crazy law does not apply in Europe, where the song's copyright has already expired since January 1st, 2017. If you really feel the need to sing the song in public and don't want to pay any royalties, you might want to go to Europe. So there you go, guys. Those are the top 5 laws you have probably already broken or are in the process of breaking. And let me know in the comments below, because this is just between us. Let me know, which law have you ever broken? Not just these, but any law. Which laws have you ever broken? I'll start. When I was little, when I was like in 2nd grade, I used to go to the local Kroger. You know, they have the candy bins where they have the, gummy worms, gummy bears. So what I used to do, I would just walk over there and I would just stand around. I was a little kid, so I would just stand around and look around, make sure no one's watching, and I would just take a gummy bear and eat it. And I remember this one day, whenever I reached for a gummy bear, I heard a knocking behind me. And I looked behind me and no one was there. All I saw was like a door and no one was there. So I reached for it again and there's knocking. I'm like, what's going on? So finally, you know what? I'm like, whatever, I'm just gonna eat a gummy bear. I really wanted a gummy bear. Ate the gummy bear, and then this guy came walking out, this employee came walking out from the door behind me. And he was he didn't care, because he's like, oh, you little kid, whatever, you're eating a gummy bear, who cares? But I was caught, and that was the only time in my life I stole something. I hope I don't get in trouble for that. What's the limitation? What's the statute of limitations for stealing a gummy bear? Anyway, your turn. Let me know your craziest crime stories in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you later.